Hello, and welcome to the zTPFGI demonstration. In this demo, we look at how to trace and debug programs at the source code level in zTPFGI. As an example, we will trace an assembler program. To see an example in C++, please watch the demo of a C++ source view trace. In this demo, let's use the Availability Washington Chicago command that returns the availability of trains from Washington to Chicago. This command uses routines that can be found in the AV01 and AV02 assembler source files. We can lock these files into source view simply by double-clicking them in the Load Sets window. Locking a file into source view specifies that you want to trace that file. Any files that you do not want to trace are not locked and will not be stopped at. If a file is not yet open in the editor, the file is first opened and then locked. The lock symbol denotes which files are locked into source view. When a file is locked, it is passed. A blue dot appears in the margin of any line that has machine code associated with it. Now let's open an ALC terminal window and run the Availability Washington Chicago command. The execution of the command will stop at the top of the first locked source file. The blue arrow in the margin and the pink highlighting of the line denote the line that is going to be executed next. You'll also notice that the layout of zTPFGI has changed to the Debugging Layout, and the Debug tab in the ribbon menu has been made available. Just like the other layouts that are available in zTPFGI, this one too is customizable. There is now a call stack window, a watches window, and a variables window. The variables window shows the current values of all the registers and local variables. There is also a tab for viewing the current values of this. We're now ready to begin stepping through the source code. If we click Step Into, then if there's a subroutine, we can trace that subroutine. If you click Step Through, then you'll step right through that subroutine. The subroutine will still execute, but you will not enter into it. If you're in a subroutine and want to run that subroutine and return to the place where the subroutine was called, click Step Out. Now let's step through the source code. Notice that the values that have changed are highlighted in the Variables window. To run to a specified point in the program, you can place the cursor on a specific line and then click the Run to Cursor button. The execution will run until it reaches the line with the cursor, but before that line is executed. To jump to another point in the execution without executing the intervening code, you can click the Branch to Cursor button. You can also set breakpoints by clicking the blue dots in the margins of the executable lines. Let's set a breakpoint on this line. Now if we hit the Run button, the execution completes until it reaches a breakpoint, but before the line with the breakpoint is executed. When tracing at the source code level, you can open an ECB window at any time to view registers, data levels, and data blocks. To view an ECB, click on the ECB button in either the System tab or the Debug tab of the ribbon menu. Now let's step over the next line. If we return to the source view, we can see that the line with the breakpoint has been executed and the execution point has advanced. Let's see what happens when you encounter an error in the ECB and how you can fix it. As an example, let's corrupt register 14 in the ECB. Then we can try to step through this line to see what happens. Let's go to the ECB and corrupt register 14 now. The value can be changed simply by typing over the existing value. Now, when we try to execute that line of code, you'll see that we get an error. The execution point has not moved on, but we are stopped in the same position. Now let's fix the error. To do this, we can return to the ECB and enter the correct value for register 14. Now let's try to step again. As you can see, we've stepped past this line now and are ready to continue. This next line will cause us to enter the AV02 program. Because AV02 is also locked, stepping into this line will take us into the AV02 source file. If you glance down a little, you'll see that this program can take us into AV03. Let's go to that line by putting the cursor on it and clicking the Run to Cursor button. AV03 is not locked, so even if we try to step into it, the trace will not enter the AV03 source file, in which case the command execution will complete. At this point, if we need to, we can return to the Load Sets window and lock AV03 into source view so that we can step into it. However, let's just step and allow the command to complete. We can view the output in the ALC terminal window. Thanks for watching this demonstration of how to trace and debug programs at the source code level in zTPFGI. To find out more, please watch some of our other demos that are available, take a look at our brochure, or contact us for further information.